Okay. Today we're going to learn a halacha which is very practical. If you're allowed to invite goyim to Sudas Yom Tov, any Sudas Yom Tov. So it's a very practical, especially today we have people that either trying to become Jews and they're in the community, they usually got used to come to Shabbosim, so the Yom Tov also they're expecting to come, or there's other circumstances, it's more shaykh to the maybe somebody wants to see a Yom Tov by Eid and he's working with Eid and he wants to come to Sudas Yom Tov, if you're allowed to do it. So if you want to be machmir to be yotze with all the opinions of pastors, Alpi Pashut Pshat, you're not allowed to, because it's. I'm going to read from the Rambam. It's a Gemara and Beya, but that's what the Rambam brings. And oifim uvashlam b'yom tov gedei la'achil kutim aklovim. The whole heter rule of Ovada Yasser Lochem that you're allowed to do oichel nefesh, it was for your need, not even for your the chiddush, not even for your animal that you mechuyev b'mezoneseya. You're not allowed to do it, and how much more for the goy that you don't have to cook for him on Yom Tov. Yes, never hu levada yasa lochem v'lo lekutim lochem v'lo leklovim. Lefichach, mezamnim es akutim b'Shabbos. On Shabbos you could invite them. There's no problem because nobody cooks on Shabbos. It's already before Shabbos. And mezamnim es b'Yom Tov gezeira shema yerba b'shvila. They could have told you just don't cook for him. If you have, give him what you have. But says no, you're right. But it's a gezeira. We're telling you not for sure not allowed to cook for him, but you might. Even though you have everything ready before, you might cook extra for him. Oh, now this is so. Aval imba akutim me'elov oichel imoyin mashem oichel mishkvar echinua. So here's if somebody sometime like he needs a little loophole over here, a little heter. If he comes on its own, then you're allowed to give him. The whole idea is if a choshuv gets, if you invite him, you might cook extra for him. If he's here anyway, come on its own. You could give it to him. So one heter would be lamaisa. If you have somebody, and that's why I told a few people in the community, what you tell them clearly, maybe explain the halacha. I'm not allowed to invite you. If you come on your own, I'm not going to tell you to go away. So lamaisa, and the befeirish, you tell them I'm not inviting you. That's one heter. Ibam ba'atzmoi, it's mutar. Now, here's another halacha that's also going to help us to understand a little bit this halacha better. Behemo shechetzio shel kuti v'chetzio shel Yisrael. You have your partner on an animal with a goy. So you want to shecht it on Yom Tov. That says over here, muter l'shochta b'Yom Tov. That's no problem. Even though the other half going to go to the goy. She efshar lechol min kazayis bosar b'lo shchita. Even I need a kazayis bosar, I need a shchita, so I do it for myself. The remaining is to you. Since it's one thing over here, I'm allowed to do it. Avol isa v'evado shechetzio l'kuti v'chetzio l'Yisrael. Also, I could divide the botzak first. So when I'm cooking for you specially, I'm baking for you. That's also. Now, there's the next halacha, which is, so according to this, if somebody comes after, even though it's one kedeira, that's snif l'eser. If it's one kedeira over here, one pot, and I'm putting. By the way, it's also nafkamina how many people coming. If you have a small amount of Jews and you want a big crowd of goyim, that's a bigger problem. That you cannot say I'm not doing special for you. You have to. How are you going to feed so many people if you don't do special for them? We're talking about if you have a big mishpacha and you have one goy among the 10 portions. You could say I'm not doing special for you. We'll eat what we have. Now. So here is the next halacha, which has to do with that also. B'nei achayil shenosnu kemach liYisrael. The Gemara brings over there was the villagers. The king told them, you have to make the food for my army that's fighting over there. And part of it now comes Yom Tov, and they have to cook and bake for them. It says, and they're giving you their own. Flour, which is lemaisa, it is a shtickle nafkimin. I'm going to explain why if they're giving you the flour. So it says like this: Im kshunosnim pas mimeno latinok and makpidim. Let's say they're giving you a flour. They say all you have to do, we'll provide you with the material. You cook and bake for us. If you know when we take from a portion from it, give it to a child, they're not doing makpid, even though it's mainly made for the army. Yeah? Mela muter lefas lam biyomtov. Kol pasu pas roy latinik. It's I'm doing it really. It's like a haram. I'm doing it for the tinak, which they don't mind. Then I'm giving them. I'm giving the next one. The next one. This way you do. L'choira, that's a heter mitzad Evo. Maybe they give a special heter mitzad. But then the Tosfos brings is another heter of here, meaning it's l'chatchila. It becomes yours only after they don't mind. Not if you, let's say you're going to do nothing. You say, can I take a little bit of flour and give it to a family? They say, no, the schus of your, because you work hard to make the baking of it will let you take. So each time you could say, I'm taking one of the here for a child. But stamazeh lechatchila to go make for a goy, that would be l'chayra osur. Okay, so this, all this so far we'll see the only heter you have when you do for a goy only if it comes on its own. Otherwise, l'chayra you have no heter to do for him. Well, there is maybe another heter over here. So the Beis Yosef brings that you allowed, if you do it in one kedera. Some Rishonim saying the only isur to invite a goy when you do a special kedera for him, you're going to cook specially for him. But if you giving him from your own kedera, even for yourself, you're allowed to do more. That shouldn't be a problem. But still, the whole thing is a gezerah. You might do more for him. So that's what he says over here. I'm reading now from the tour. En mebashlan terech akum beyomtov. Hilkach afilu lazminoi osur shema yarba b'shvila v'davka lazminoi. The kemesh writes lechabdoi. Since you want to give an honor, chashin and shema yarba b'shvilai. Aval abdo b'shivchosu b'vaisoi. So somebody that lives with you, the maids v'chen, shliach hashaluch loy. Somebody send you a goy for a messenger to do something that it's not a choshuv a guest. Mutar la'achilam ima v'lochen shema yarba b'shvilam. Yeah. Now the Beis Yosef brings from the Rosh like this: Im nishlach shliach akum l'Yisrael b'yomtov, mutar la'achilam b'yomtov. Again, the idea of it, as long as it's not a choshuv guest, it comes on its own, or the shliach can deliver you something, or it's your people working for you. The la'osar b'sher ben levi l'zamen es ha'akum shu chofetz b'yikoroi u'marbe lo-mones v'chashin shema yivashel k'deira levado shalom avashel im lo b'shvel akum. Again, even though you have already one k'deira, it's osur midrabonon. Shema yarbash, maybe you're going to make extra food for him. Dim lo hiro b'shvil akum, ema begdera shu mevashel bo leke chashash isur. So again, according to this, if you tell a goy, especially today, it's in a way it's easy because most people definitely lagabe baking there. It's more machmir because they say each one takes more effort to bake each challah, each bulkala. Today, most people definitely not baking. I don't know anybody bakes on Yom Tov. And even cooking, a lot of people they just warm up on Yom Tov. They do all the cooking before. So in a way, it's a lot easier. You're not doing extra for anybody, not only for a goy, even for a Eid. Normally, people don't do extra cooking on Yom Tov. They just put the whole pot, and it's b'kedei ra'achat. It's a lot less of a problem. Now he brings the Beis Yosef the opinion of the Orchos Chaim, the son of the Rosh. He said like this: meaning sometimes you could do more than you need in one pot. That's cooking on the same pot, so do more. But you cannot say I'm going to put in one pot a lot of food and it's for a goy. And then the Beis Yosef when nizbar b'tchila simanesh en ken das a poskim. Mashma from some poskim mashma that if you do in one pot, especially the Alter Rebbe point this out, you don't add to the pot later on. You first put everything in a pot, then you put in a fire. That's one malacha, one fire, one cooking. It should not be a problem. Like I said, so Lamaisem to be yoitzer with all the opinions. The Darchemesh are more machmirant. It's like this. Aval Tosfos Kosu behedek kedivre orchos chayim. He says that even in one part, you could argue in the pshat of the Tosfos. The Beis I don't think understood the Tosfos like this, but according to the Ramod or the Darchemesh, that's how he understood the Divra Tosfos and Beya. That is masking to the Orchos Chaim. The male even in one part would be osur. So like I said, so the heterim would be if he came on its own, that you're allowed to feed him. And the Mogen Avram also brought. He says the Mogen says l'achar shetiken kol tzorche seuda. It's another scenario when you could get him after your meal is completely ready. And a lot of times they come, let's say, to shul, the end of the davening, and then you tell him. He says, "Somuch l'seuda mutar lazminoi." They bring from Sefer Tanya. When you're a davka shaloya die to all of kodam seuda, kagon sha'akum bo me'elav somuch l'seuda. So that's another scenario. If your meal is ready, you're not doing anything. You're just going to eat now, and you're singing before the meal. According to Mogen Avram, you're allowed to invite them. And that's what the Shulchan Aruch says. V'chen akum shebo me'elav mutar la'achilo imoy v'lechen shema yarba b'shviloi. But the Ramo says like this. Mutar la'be shel abdo b'shivchoso b'oiso kedera shemavashel bo la'atzma aval shar akum b'chol inyan osa. But the Ramo mashma is more machmir, like the Orchos Chaim, even b'kedera achas. He understands that's how the Tosfos understands. So Lamaitza, like I said, the way to do, tell them clearly if you want to be yoitzer all the pins. I can explain them. I cannot invite you for Yom Tov Shabbos. You're welcome to come because if I'm not allowed to cook for you specially, let's say I'm not inviting you, but if you come on your own, you come. And the Gemara says that Mereimar Umar Zutra, and that's maybe kedai to say this beferish. Machlokes in the Rambam and the Rashba, if you have to say this or not. Here is what the Mereimar Umar Zutra did. The Gemara says, Mereimar Umar Zutra, ki hava miklulu Nochri b'Yom Tov. If a guy would come to them, Sudas Yom Tov, Omrulei, in Echalav Amayti Tri Chalon Mutar. If you're happy what we did for ourselves, we're going to share with you, it's good. V'iloi Tricha, says, if you're not happy what we have, we're not going to cook specially for you, so we're not going to do extra for you. You tell him the Feirush. So the Rambam says it's l'mayla v'lomoyrid. If you say you're not, the Rashba, Masha, you have to say it. So to be yoitzer all the opinions. If you feel you ever need to have a guest on Yom Tov, a goy for whatever reason, so you could tell them clearly, before I'm not inviting if you come. I explain the halacha why you're telling them, not that you are rejecting. Even you'll understand. And if he shows up, you tell him, listen, we're not doing extra for you, and if you say that your yoitzer also according to the opinion of the Rashba, it's important to say that. With all and you also have one kedera only with all this mashma. There are some heterim. At lechatchila, it should not be done. Now, one thing that Mr. Berura and other poskim made a little bit harder. Not only a goy. It says even Mumar, here's the Vuadin Latzorich Mumar Lavoy Zor Tzor Mechal Shabbos Befaresia, Sharem Ke'akum Lechol Divrem, they bring a right from the Rambam. He says according to that, not only a goy you cannot invite. Today it's very much shy. We're in a kiruv business. We have relatives. Sometimes they're not frum, and we invite them for Yom Tov for kiruv. He says mashma of Yiluchoretz also. However, the good news is that's what I said that I originally I didn't want to even talk about because it's a very very sticky issue. But here's what I think the heter the most people used today. That's what the Kaf HaChaim brings. It says v'nira du adin lemuma ledover acher lahach is kevan da'aru ke'akum. Bring right from the Yeridei Simon Beis. All this in Yonim, the Mechal Shabbat Feretz ke'akum. We're talking about people that do lahachis. Today, most Jews, I can tell you, they're not lahachis. Most of them, they are like tinok shenishba. They don't know anywhere. So that doesn't apply to them. It's not like akum That's what he brought over there. Even mumar laver echas lahachis, then it's a different story. If you, he has the same halacha as a go. But if it's not lahachis, which is that most people today are not lahachis, and that's why Baruch Hashem is a lot of balatshuva, it's a lot of kiruv. So that's for them is on the mouth. But for the goy, like I said, either you tell him clearly, I cannot invite you. And if you come, you come, and then when he comes, you tell him clearly, I'm not doing extra for you. So that gives you l'choyre the heter to have them on your Shabbat, on your Yom Tov table.